Oh my. How do I even get down the stairs? Ah!
Oh God, I'm terrified.
This is what our parents had to walk through to get to school every day. Well, there's been a delay in the video considering I can't get to my studio. Hold please. Paisley, you can't go outside. It's literally negative 25 degrees. I'm sorry, honey. And your little body would just sink right into that. Ryan's gonna go shovel for us. This is the one and only reason why I got married.
Damn.
So that I'd have somebody to shovel the snow for my princess butt.
But wait, we got married in California before there was snow.
That's true. You called my bluff. All right, we're cleared. It's showtime. Hey everybody, it's Katie, the Celestial Homebody, and are y'all staying warm out there? I am so sorry if you are in one of the states that has lost like power. Like entire states are losing power because of this winter storm that we're going through right now. We are fortunate here in Indiana. We got about 15 inches of snow where I live, and it's just beautiful. And it has been dusting all day long, but the wind chills are negative 27 degrees today. And we've got like drifts, they call it, where the snow just kind of blows over. So we have shoveled, I mean Ryan has shoveled multiple times today, but even though it's not actively snowing right now, it's still like getting covered in snow because the wind is so crazy and the chill is a yowza. But we were fortunate to not have power go out or anything like that. We let our faucets drip overnight the past few nights to avoid like the pipes freezing. But my heart goes out to anybody who has been affected by this storm. I have never seen this much snow in my life. And yeah, like you saw the little pathway here to the shed that my adorable, handsome, amazing husband made for us so that we could sit down and have this little chat right now. Also say hello to Remy and Reginald. I have a lot to show you guys today. As you can see next to me, I have a pyramid of axolotl. This is only part of the pyramid. We have the entire other base that is out of frame for you that you cannot see holding up this pyramid. I kind of went crazy. I went ham, as I would say, making the axolotls this week, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Before we jump into what we made, I just wanted to give a shout out because hashtag always be plugging to my adorable shirt. I did cut the collar off my shirt. I don't know. I just like the not having stuff around my neck, but I don't personally like V-necks because I have really big arms and I feel like V-neck shirts normally have like tighter arms, so I always like to get oversized t-shirts and then just cut the collars off them. This new Valentine's design is available in my website shop. It has little conversation hearts on it with little sayings for crocheters and knitters, and it also comes in a v-neck style, and it also comes in like a little crop top situation. It's very cute. Not for me, because if I were to wear that, I would look like Pooh Bear, but if a crop top is something that you're into, it's available in that style as well. And I spent a ton of time this past week importing all of my apparel into my Etsy shop, so I'm happy to say that you can now order Celestial Homebody apparel on Etsy and my website. both of them are going to have the apparel now. So yay! I have pretty much been living in this shirt. I just love these t-shirts. They're just so comfortable. I pretty much never have a bra on. Pretty much always in pajama pants and some sort of lounging shirt. So shameless plug. All right, let's get into what I made this week. Well, technically, we're going to start with a little bit of a cheater here. I had made this months ago. There are a couple of things that I just wanted to refresh your memory of because they were displayed in my old office, and I have since decided that I am going to put them into the market bags to take them to market. So I'm just going to show you those really quick. So you might have seen these before, but this first one is Celeste from Animal Crossing. I actually have a tattoo of her right there. I mean, she's upside down, but so this I made, gosh, probably summer 2025. I haven't had her for too long, but I made her to sit in the backgrounds of my videos. But I have decided that since I am doing 2 convention markets this year, I'm doing Indiana Comic-Con and Indiana PopCon this summer, well, spring/summer, I wanted to take her and see if I could sell her at one of those conventions, because this is just a very niche character that you don't see a lot of merchandise for, which is really a shame because she's one of my favorites. As you can tell, she's permanently inked on my arm. And my daughter's namesake. If you did not know, my daughter's name is also Celeste. We didn't name her after this character. It was just kind of a happy coincidence because I love this character. But anyways, this pattern I think I got on Etsy, and I will try to find it and link the pattern for you in the description box, along with all of the other plushies that I'm going to show you today. I will link for you. Did I use a free blog on this, or did I pay for a pattern? I don't remember. It was too long ago, but regardless, I will find it for you. So she is going into the body bag to be taken to market. The other thing that I have decided to not include in the backgrounds of my videos anymore and to take to market is this adorable little Highland cow. This is by BK Crochets. I don't know if there's an S on the end of her tag. Crochets or crochet, but this is Charlie the calf. I actually accidentally purchased a bootleg version, I guess you could call it, where somebody stole the pattern and then put it up on their Etsy for a small fraction of the price, or a big fraction of the price. I don't know. The actual pattern is like crazy expensive in my opinion. Way too expensive for what you get. That's just my opinion as a pattern designer myself. I do not think that it is, I don't know, right to be charging people like $8 for a pattern that takes like, I don't know, an hour to make. I don't know. That's just me. But I purchased this one for like $1 or less. Maybe it was only like 97 cents or something. But the shop that I purchased the BK Crochet Charlie the Calf pattern from, fortunately, has been taken down. Etsy, for once, did their job, took down the shop because they were stealing people's patterns and selling them, which is no bueno. So anyways, this has been sitting on my shelf for many months, and I embroidered the eyes on her because I was going to give her to Celeste, but that kid has so many darn stuffed animals, you guys. Like, honestly, I make them. Right? I make them, so it's like whatever she's into, whatever she wants, I just make it for her. And I don't know, she has so many plushies at this point. I just feel like another little kid or adult is really going to love this and give it a home, a really good home. So she is going into the bag as well. I'm kind of sad to see her go, honestly. This is some of my best eye embroidery work I think I've ever done. She's very cute. Let me know if any of you guys are interested in her. I can put her as a listing on the website. But for now, she is in the body bag, ready to go to market. Okay, hang on. I'm sick of holding this rat. Let me clip my mic so that I can use both hands. I don't know. I just wanted Remy to be involved. I felt like he was he's been kind of left out. Oh wait, now I'm covering the hearts. Poor Remy. He was up on the top of my bookshelf up there with all my other plushies, but you can't see them today with how I have the camera positioned. But give me an update. How do we think the lighting and the audio is here? I did do some minor changes from last week. Most of you guys said that the lighting was perfect and that the audio was perfect and it looked really professional and colorful and fun. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we can lock down this setup here. Also, my water bottle that was in my fridge out here froze because that's how cold it is, and I don't have heat going in the shed 24/7. I came out here, I don't know, a couple hours ago and turned on my heater so that way it would be warm when I sit here to film. Obviously, as you can see, I'm in a short sleeve shirt, so it's not that cold, but it's pretty funny because inside my refrigerator, the water bottle froze. It's kind of unfroze now. You can see a couple ice cubes in there maybe. Oh, got a big chunk of ice there. But that's just, I could not even fathom how cold -20 degrees is until stepping out in it today. It's like within like 10 minutes, I feel like you could get frostbite on bare skin. And there was a lost dog in our neighborhood earlier. Ryan was shoveling and he came in and was like, there's a dog outside. And I was like, that's not going to happen on my watch because I will never let a stray dog go astray. I will always take it in and shelter it until we find its owner. Fortunately, it was our neighbors. They are just very irresponsible pet parents. 2 dogs, they just let them out free range, like free range chickens or cats, like neighborhood cats. They just let their dogs out, and it's 2 pit bulls. Now, I am not canine racist. I love pit bulls. I think that they get a bad rap because typically the people who own the pit bulls don't treat them the way that dogs deserve to be treated, and then they get, you know, behavior problems and they bite people and all that stuff. But anyways, our neighbors just like let them out to go to the bathroom, and they were outside for like hours in the freezing cold snow and everything. And because the snow is so deep, we could not get up to their porch to like knock on the door and be like, hey, your dogs are still outside, take them in, please. And because we have our dogs, otherwise I would have taken them into our house. But, you know, I don't know. I just didn't want to cause drama between the canines in our home. So we ended up just like throwing snowballs at their door until they opened the door and we're like, take your dogs inside. And they did. But hopefully their little toe beans didn't get frostbite. I haven't seen any other critters outside. We have a possum friend who normally hangs out. Haven't seen him. We have some neighborhood cats. Have not seen them. I am just going on a rampage today. I'm sorry. And by a rampage, I mean a tangent. So much to show you. Okay. I have just been rotting away all day editing a vlog, which you'll see on Friday. So I have not had any adult interaction today. If you couldn't tell, that's why I'm very chatty. But the dogs made it home safe. Okay. Showing you what I made now, for real this time. So this week I received an email commission from Erica, who I have done just one other commission for this commissionee, customer, client. I'm going to say client because that sounds very fancy. For this client, I have done one other commission before. And if you remember, that was the Alastor character doll from the adult cartoon on Amazon Prime. It's called Has Been Hotel. Well, this client reached out to me again and asked if I could do a pattern by Mom Stitchetti of like this little deer. And they sent me the picture of the listing, and I had never seen this Mom Stitchetti pattern before, but the price of it kind of made me go, because it was like $9 for this pattern, but then I realized that it was actually a 2-in-1 pattern. So, okay, fine. It's like, you know, $4.50 a pop, but I would have rather just bought the one pattern. But anyways, it's what the client wanted. So I went ahead and purchased the pattern, and then it was requested of me that I inspire this deer creature from Has Been Hotel's Alastor. So I went with a red color scheme, and actually in the vlog that you guys are going to see Friday, I kind of walk through the process of picking the colors and making the eyes and all of that. So I'll just show you here what it turned out like. So here is this little deer character inspired by Alastor. Now first let's talk about the pattern itself. To be honest with you, it was kind of meh. I did not love it. I don't love the way that the arms and legs look. They're just like little sticks kind of sticking out. I contemplated like doing them a different way so that it would, I don't know, like tack them down or something so that it would look like it's laying instead of just like flailed out like a Slender Man sort of situation, but I just followed the pattern as written because that is what the client requested. I did do the ears a little bit differently. As you can see, I gave them black tips. Because in the show, Alastor has black tipped ears with like a red base, and his coat is also red. So that's why I went with a red base. This is a Chenille Basic Sprites color, and I don't know the color name. I want to say it's called like cranberry or something like that. I did hand paint these eyes. You'll see that in the vlog. And then I did a little red X on his head because when Alastor gets angry or upset, he grows these horns like these, and then he also gets a little red X in the middle of his forehead. So that is what I did, although it's kind of weird because this is a very cutesy animal, like with those big old eyes. These are 35 millimeters, by the way. They're honking eyeballs. I don't know, it's just like a very cutesy little face, and then it's supposed to be like an angry, scary character. But anyway, so I finished this up and then sent the photos to the client, and it was requested that I add a little bit of black to the tail. So I did go back and embroider, and as you can see, I didn't do a solid black. I don't know, I thought that it would be kind of interesting, just add a little more visual interest if I kind of left it like stripey. He has stripes in his coat. They're like pinstripes. And yes, they are red, but I don't know. I thought that it was kind of like an homage to that. They're not perfect, but they're on there. I did as the client requested, which I am more than happy to do. So this is Alastor deer. So this will be packed up and sent out tomorrow if we aren't snowed in and or on a red travel advisory, because the mayor has said that today and tomorrow we're going to be on a red travel advisory, which if you're not from the United States, that means that nobody is allowed to leave, come or go because the roads are so dangerous. I just saw a story on Facebook. Here I go on a tangent again. I just saw a story that last night or early this morning at like 2:30 in the morning, somebody was driving home, and because there is so much snow and so little visibility, like plows can't even get out and clear the roads. Anyways, this minivan, I think it was just one person driving, early in the morning drove their car into a lake because they couldn't see where the road was. So they were just going off-roading and drove their car into a lake. Part of the lake was frozen over, part of it was not. So they drove on the lake for like a solid mile until they got to a part that was, I guess, I don't know, deeper. So it wasn't completely frozen enough to handle the weight of a car, and fell in the lake. Fortunately, they're okay. But that's just why we have a red travel advisory, which also means Ryan might not have to go into work tomorrow. Heck yeah. Okay, let me show you the next commission that I made, which will also be sent out tomorrow again if we are able to go to the post office. So this one, oh my goodness, this one has taken me months. This viewer contacted me in October maybe and was like, hey, can you do a commission for me of my pony who passed away? Her name is Safra, and it would be shipping to Germany. And I was like, sure, I'd be happy to work with you. So her and I have been going back and forth for months because I really wanted to get the color correct and the pattern correct. And I actually had purchased a different pattern to make this horse commission, but I then stumbled across a different pattern, which is what I ended up using by Crochet with Kira, the same one who did the leopard pattern or the cheetah pattern in last week's episode of this week's makes. But I saw this pattern on her page and I was like, that pony has so much character, and like it was just so cute. So I sent it to the client and she was like, I love that. So we finally, after many weeks of going back and forth, decided on a pattern, and I picked a color. And the color that I decided to go with is Curry from Big Twist Plush. No, what is going on with my mind? Big Twist Plush is way long gone. It is Basics Brights by Premier. I don't know why I always get Premier and Big Twist mixed up. I don't know. But anyways, this is the color Curry, and I had an issue with ordering this. Now, I placed an order for about 5 skeins of it months ago, and I got an order in, and something was wrong with the dye lot, I guess, where some of the skeins, like 3 out of the 5 of them, were almost looked like the rust color in the Basics Brights, and then 2 of them looked like the curry color. And this was back when I was going to do a completely different pattern that I thought was going to take a lot more yarn. So I was like, I need all of these yarns to match. So I placed another order. Well, long story short, or it's me, so short story long, I finally ended up getting enough skeins of the curry color to do the horse, and I ended up going through about 2.5 skeins to do this pattern. And just on a side note, if you have ordered the rust color in the Basics Brights recently and you have noticed that the color is off, let me know. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the rust color looks like the curry color, and then the curry color is looking more like the rust color. And I don't know if that's just my experience, so I'm interested to know if you have also experienced that. So this is what Safra, the pony commission, ended up looking like. Now, she is very large. Look at how adorable this pattern is. This is probably, I looked at so many horse patterns, you guys, and we went back and forth on a couple of them. And I don't think I have ever seen a horse pattern as cute as this, like as well written in terms of like the shaping of it. It did take a long time, but the way that it has like these little knees, like you can position this so that it's laying down. Horses lay like this, right? Like with their arms tucked under. You could make it sploot laying down if you wanted to. You could make it just fold its little arms backwards and its legs forwards. It's just so pliable, and it's such a good size. For how much work this is, I am very happy with how large it turned out in the chenille brights, and I did use a 6.5 millimeter hook. I think that the curry color might be a smidgen too dark, but I don't know what other color I would have used. I'll put a picture of her pony in here so that you can see what my inspiration was. She does have, or did, rest in peace, she did have that white spot on her face too, so it was written into the pattern. I didn't even have to modify that at all, so it was perfect. And then even though Safra did appear to have straight hair, the client did request that I do curls in her hair, and then also put some little pink or lilac / lavender flowers. So I went with these little sparkly purple flowers. This is, I want to say this is Big Twist Twinkle. I only have 1 skein of it, and it is the purple shade. But, and then for the hair, I asked if she would rather me use like a cream color because Safra has very, very light yellow hair, or if she would prefer I used pale yellow, and she said pale yellow. I do think that that was a good call though. I think that the colors look really, really nice together. Of course, the hair took a long time. The hair itself took an entire skein of Elise Voluto, and as I mentioned, this took a little over 2 skeins of the curry color in the Chenille Basics Brights. And then for her hooves, I used chocolate in the Chenille Basics Brights. And I don't know, you guys, I just think that she is adorable. And if I have it in me, I would like to make another horse, maybe for market, but it took a long time. It took a really long time to do all of the legs separately. You do crochet them in, you know, but yeah, and then the color changes in the head. It wasn't too bad for the head, but still, like, I wanted this to be perfect because it was so many months in the making, and it is in honor of her horse that passed away. So definitely wanted to take my time and make sure that she was absolutely perfect. So she's going to be packed up, and this one is going all the way to Germany. So I hope that she gets there safe and sound, and I hope that the client loves her. I know she's a subscriber, so hey girl. So yes, I'm very, very excited to finally show her finished Safra, because that was a long time in the making. Okay, let's talk about, oh, this is fun. This is fun. Okay, so I mentioned my daughter Celeste. If you do not know, she is almost 16 months old. She will be next week. And she got for Christmas a Tony box. If you don't know what that is, it's like one of the little, it's like a box, and there's little characters that magnetize to the top of the box, and then it's kind of like it's a stereo. That just showed my age, calling it a stereo, yikes. But it plays the music. And each character has, like, I just realized, sorry, if you saw my brain wandering off there, it's because I just realized that none of my under lights are on under my desk. So I apologize if it's a little bit dark today. I forgot to turn those on. Oh well. But anyway, so each little character that you put on the Tony box plays a different song or story. So she got a Tony box. She got a couple of like farm animals that do the farm animal songs. She got a Miss Rachel one, and I recently bought her a Miffy one. Miffy is a little British bunny character, kind of similar to Peppa Pig, but I much prefer Miffy. There is a show that we sometimes watch with Celeste. Celeste does not get a ton of screen time. She gets like maybe 45 minutes every couple of days. I don't know. I'm one of those parents. I have degrees in child development, so I'm very much so an anti-screen parent. But I love the Tony box because it still stimulates her brain. We can like still play Miss Rachel for her, for example, without her looking at a screen. She can play and listen at the same time, and it's fantastic. So I got her a little Miffy bunny, and the show is like, it's all primary colors, and it kind of looks like claymation. And the little voice actress for Miffy is just the cutest stinking thing. So her Miffy Tony, she loves. It plays the theme song, Miffy, a cute little bunny, Miffy, a smart little bunny. And they all have British accents, and it's adorable. And then it tells her stories, right? So she loves that Tony. She will knock Miss Rachel off there and put Miffy on the Tony box to listen to the theme song. And then she likes the show too whenever she does watch it. So I wanted to make her something Miffy. Like I mentioned, if she wants something or I feel like she would like something, I just make it for her. That's why she has so many stuffed animals. But I didn't want to just make her a Miffy stuffed animal because she's got a million stuffed animals. So recently she has been loving, like, she's just at that age where she likes to, like, just get her little grubby phalanges all over everything and take things out of drawers and, like, reorganize things. And I thought that making her a little purse would be adorable. So I made this little Miffy purse, and the pattern that I followed is actually on YouTube. It's a free YouTube tutorial. It is technically for like a little, I don't know, maybe yay big little AirPod or headphone case, but it is made in acrylic yarn in the tutorial. So I made it out of Bernat blanket plush yarn to make it nice and big. So this is what her little purse turned out like. Here is Miffy, and then in the back there is a little button right here that I sewed on super duper good, and we can open it like so, and then she can put stuff inside of there, and we can help her close it back up. We're working on doing the buttons. And then I made the strap long enough to be like a little crossbody. I mean, it looks short compared to me, but this is as big as a crossbody purse strap for a toddler. Now, because it is a long strap, she is only allowed to use this when she is supervised because it is a choking hazard if it wraps. So she only uses this like, I don't know, we went out to Walmart the other day and she carried her little purse, and I gave her a couple of like my dentist card and, and health insurance card for her just to put in her little purse, and she loves it. But she does not get to just play with this whenever she wants to, because like I said, she has to be supervised. There's a little fluff coming out of it. For the strap, I used this I actually got on Hobby Shoppy. I don't know the name of this cotton, but it's actually the same cotton that I used to line all of my granny square tapestries with. And I just thought it was pretty, and you know how I love pastels. For the face, I did use felt because I did not want to embroider. I think that it looks pretty good. I feel like I maybe could have made her eyes a smidgen larger, but I don't know, I'm nitpicky. Overall, I'm very happy with how she turned out. Oh, and I stuffed the ears to make sure that they would stand up. So Celeste loves it, so I am a happy mama because of that. All right, let's talk about all these axolotls that I have sitting here. So you might be able to see that I made a handful of blues. So I mentioned this last week when we were doing the Demi Pearl haul, where I had said that Minecraft, the very famous, very, very popular game amongst kids and adults and grandparents and just elderly alike. I feel like everybody loves Minecraft. I mean, I don't, because I don't play it, but I feel like if I did play it, I would love it. Anyways, this is a very beloved game, and I figured that if I'm going to be making axolotls, I should try to gauge them toward the Minecraft fans, since there's a lot of them out there. And instead of just doing the standard pink axolotls, which I did do a couple of this week, I also do 2 Minecraft colors. So one of those Minecraft colors is the very rare, supposedly, blue axolotl, and I use Demi Pearl on all of these using Knotting Hook Crochet's axolotl pattern, and as you can see, they turn out to be a really, really nice size. I was able to, with the blue, I was able to get exactly 5 axolotls out of 1 skein of the Demi Pearl. In the body color. Of course, I had a ton left over in the accent color. But then when I went to do the golds, which I'll show you in a second here, I ran out of yarn. So I was able to get like 4.5 axolotls. So you'll have to just wait and see what I did to combat that, because I was already halfway through an axolotl when I ran out of yarn and lost a yarn chicken. So for the purple or for the blue, I was going to say for the blue axolotl, I went more purple with the accent colors because I was looking at pictures of these guys actually in the game, and the blue axolotl are kind of purple toned, especially in their little head frills, whatever you call them. So that is why I chose this color in the Demi Pearl. Unfortunately, I don't know the names off the top of my head, but I did mention it last week in the haul that we did, what I would be using for each of these colors. So a few weeks ago, you might have seen that I made a few pink axolotl, which look like this. I mean, just your standard ye old pink axolotl. And I didn't put any mouths on them. In Robin's pattern, she says like it's optional to put mouths on them. And I felt like it just wouldn't look right. So instead what I did was I used the accent color and embroidered these little like noses on them. Because if you look at a picture of a Minecraft axolotl, they have like the eyes on the sides of their head, and then right in between the eyes, there's like a little nose in the darker accent color. So I thought that that made them look a little bit more akin to the game. So this week I made two pink axolotls. I made one overboard, 3, 4, and 5 blue axolotl, which I don't know. We're going to have to see how the blues sell, because in the game, they are supposedly super duper rare. So maybe it'll be like my Stardew Valley blue chickens, where people will want to get it because it's like, well, if I can't have it in the game, then I can have it in real life, and maybe it'll bring me like luck in the game. The amount of times that I've heard people say that when they buy a blue chicken from me and say, maybe this will make me get one in the game, you know, power of manifestation and all that. And then I made also 5 gold axolotls. Supposedly the golds are rarer than the pinks, but they're not like super duper rare. This is color combo I thought that I was going to hate, but honestly, I think that they look pretty cool, and they make me think of Goldmember from Austin Powers. I love gold. So I made 5 of these guys. Now, like I mentioned, I had plenty of yarn to do 4, but I did run out of yarn to do the 5th. And this is what I decided to do for it. First of all, he's very stubby. Look at him compared to a normal axolotl. Because you'll see this thought process in the vlog as well on Friday. But I got like halfway through him and I was like, I'm not going to have enough yarn. So I frogged it out all the way back to the neck. I switched to a smaller hook, and I cut some rounds out just where I thought that it didn't really need the rounds. I didn't increase as much. I shortened the rounds between the feet. I got to the tail part and I'm like, I'm still not going to have enough yarn to finish this. So what I ultimately decided to do in the end was just leave him short and stubby, but color change to the accent color for just these last 3 rounds of the tail. And I thought, I don't know, like he's a little quirky. Maybe he has a little birthmark on his tail. I don't know. I figured if people don't want him, then I can throw him into the misfit bin and discount him just a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like as a consumer myself of crochet items and just handmade items in general, I personally like the quirky ones. I think that it gives him a little bit more personality. I don't know. I'm an empath, so I just look at these things, I look at them in the eyes, and I say, what is your story? That's how I name things. I've done this since I was a child, and my mom always used to laugh at me, because I'd look a stuffed animal just dead into the eyes, and I would know its entire life story and exactly what its name was, its middle name was, its mother's name is. Yeah, and that is kind of how I'm feeling with this little guy right here. I feel like his name is Luke. I don't know why, but again, that's just what his little beady eyes are telling me, is that his name is Luke. Like the Skywalker, perhaps. So that, if you counted them, was a total of 12 axolotls. I made those over the course of 2 days, and I am so sick of making axolotls. It's a very easy pattern to make and fairly quick. They take me about 30 or 45 minutes. I forgot, to be honest with you. And they use about $2 in material. So that is not bad. I feel like I'm probably going to put like a $15 to $18 price on them. So that is a really good bang for my buck in terms of like how much time I have to put into these. And how much money and materials I have to put into them. So hopefully they sell well. I have plenty to last me probably a few markets. And then I had made 4 pink axolotl a few weeks ago. So I'm gonna have to add those 4 in with this little family here so I can keep them all together in my body bags. All right, let me show you the patterns that I wrote. So I kind of teased this at the end of this week's makes. I wrote a couple of patterns and here they are. So this is what I'm calling the lazy pig and the lazy cow. So in my area, in rural Indiana, farm animals always sell really, really well for me. But I feel like it's very difficult to find like a pig or a cow pattern or a horse that is quick and that I feel comfortable putting like a $15 or lower price on. I tried going on the hunt for a cow one a while ago. If you guys remember when I did like the bowling pin strawberry cow, how many of you guys remember that? I was trying to prep for a fall festival and I got this no-sew pattern for a cow, and I guess I misread the instructions or something. It ended up looking like a very long, skinny bowling pin. It did sell, shockingly, but I was not happy with the results. But that was really the closest that I have found to a quick, easy, no-sew or low-sew pattern like this for a cow and a pig specifically. So I went ahead and wrote one so that I would have one to use for all of my markets, since I know that these are going to sell really well. So the pig has a sweet little face. It's not a super flat-nosed pig because I wanted the shape of this head to be very specific, very unique. I mean, it's not that unique. I mean, you might be able to freehand figure out how I made this shape. You know, I didn't invent sliced bread or anything like that, but I felt like all of the pig patterns that I was seeing like on Etsy had those very like smushed faces, or like the very, very round, almost like the loaf unicorn pattern with the very round nose. I wanted this one to have a little bit more of like a pinched baby pig sort of vibe. So that's what we did here. Both of these patterns, by the way, are low sew. All you have to do is sew the head to the body. Everything else is crocheted in. So we got the little curly tail on this one here. You make the arms first, then the legs, crochet them together. Then you make the head, you surface crochet on the ears for the cow. You surface crochet on the cow. Hair, no, you don't surface crochet the whole cow, just the hair and the tail on the cow. You do the body, the legs, and the arms the same exact way. This one has a little bit smaller eyes. For this one I used 10 millimeter, and then for this one I used 12 millimeter, 10 and 12, because Highland cows have little beady eyes that are always covered by their fringe or their bangs. So I wanted to do little beady eyes for him. So both of these are in testing right now. I put out a tester call over on Instagram, which, by the way, go follow me on Instagram if you're not already, at the Celestial Homebody, same way that it's spelled here. And you can apply for future pattern tests. These are in testing right now. They are not out yet as I'm recording this, but in the future, if you're watching this a few days or a few weeks or a few months or years from now, I will go back and link these patterns in the description box for you. I am very excited about them. The testers say that they're really cute. They're simple. Oh, I guess I'll tell you what kind of yarn I used for them. I used a 6 millimeter hook for both of these. They turn out a little bit larger than the size of your palm. For this one, I used Bernat blanket, and then for this one, I used Premier Parfait plush. My brain lags so much trying to think of names of yarn brands sometimes. So these two little guys are just the first in my whole line of the lazy animals that I want to do, just because they're really quick. Each of those took me like 30 minutes, 45 minutes if I was very leisurely crocheting. So yeah. Now, I wrote another pattern this week. This one is already available. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am doing 2 convention markets coming up in a couple of months. And for these convention markets, I have been on the hunt for patterns that are very quick, no-sew preferably, or low-sew I'm okay with. Just, I don't know, just easy batch crochetable things that I can make a ton of that I think are going to sell really well at conventions specifically, because oh my goodness, the booth fees, $700. $700 booth fee. So I need to crochet for many hours just to break even with the booth fee. So that is why specifically for these events, I'm looking for these like fast things that I can crank out. So any whosables. So I wanted to write this pattern for a little beloved character from the show Bob's Burgers, which is a very popular show. This is a fairly popular character, but it's one of those things that I mentioned earlier where it's like, it's not a mass-produced character that you see everywhere, but it's also very beloved. So it's not super niche where people aren't going to know what it is. So that is a little coochie copy. So in the show, there is a little girl, her name is Louise, and she has this little night light that looks like this, and it's called Coochie Copy. Apparently it's like a shape-shifting alien sort of deal. Wow, look at how bright this yarn is. So I wrote this pattern up. It is super duper quick. It takes me like 20 minutes. It is completely no-sew. You do, however, need to do felt for the eyes. I mean, I guess you could crochet eyes if you wanted to. That's not in the pattern though. I just said use felt. And then I just used Sharpie to do the little pupils and then embroidered a little mouth. Like easy peasy lemon squeezy. So easy that in one night I was able to make 4, 5, 6 of them. I made 6 of these little guys just in one evening, and I used up an entire skein of, this is a Bernat baby blanket sparkle in the color Limeade, and then this is the perfect color for the little coochie copies. And if you watched my Comic-Con vlog from 2025, which I feel like a lot of you did because that is one of my most viewed videos here on the channel, and how a lot of you guys found the channel actually was from that video, I had mentioned during that market that the one large coochie copy that I had made, how many times can I say coochie in this video? Yowza. The one large one that I had made and put out was getting a ton of attention, and it did sell, but so many people who walked by I heard say coochie copy, and because it was large I had like a bigger price on it. I want to say I put like a $45 price on it. So I think that these little ones that I can put like a $12 or $15 price on are gonna fly, and I might actually want to make more. I just ran out of that yarn, and that is, like I mentioned, the perfect color for this character. So I think the coochie copy, I'm going to make some more baby demigorgons this week, which you'll see next week, I'm sure. The axolotl, the chickens. I'm trying to think of like all of the groups of things that I want to make a bunch of that I think are going to sell really well. I need to make some more platypuses, platypi, platypods, whatever the plural is. I think they're all technically correct. Yeah, there's a couple of things I might to do that I want to make to prep for these events, but I don't want to go overboard on like the specialty convention items because those are a lot harder of a sell at regular markets, I feel. Well, I guess it depends on the item. Because I know like Robin has said that like she's selling her baby demigorgons like hotcakes, and they're just like standard markets. So I don't know. Maybe I do have 2 conventions and they're both 3-day conventions. So maybe I should prepare more than I think that I need. And if I have some left over, then oh well, I have some left over. You know, you can't sell what you don't have. So you might as well put out more, you know, or put out more. You might as well make more and bring them because you can't sell them if you don't have them. Okay, so this next thing that I made was something that I just finished last night. It is fresh off the hook. And I'm not going to talk too much about her because this video is already very long. But the main reason is because I talked a lot about her in Friday's vlog as I was making her. So this is a mermaid. I hate her. And you're going to see in the vlog why. So for right now, I'm just going to show her to you. And yeah, you're just going to have to stay tuned in a couple of days to see the whole process of me picking out all of her colors, being super excited for it, making her custom eyes, choosing the glitter and the little bubble stickers that I put inside of there if the camera can focus, and going from that to wanting to never look at her again. I will tell you though, for the hair, I used a Bernat variegated, I want to say it's called Celestial Blue, and I think I got it on my very last shopping trip to Joann's, RIP, and I got it because the name was Celestial Blue. Need I say more? So I finally broke into that skein to do her hair. For her skin tone, I used Bernat. I used a little bit of basic chenille for the flower here, not the flower, the starfish. For her little bandeau bralette and this flower, I used demi pearl. And then for her fin, I used that Bernat baby blanket in the color Raspberry Kisses that we just got in the last vlog, in the shopping vlog. So that is all of the yarns that I used for her. Like I said, handmade eyes. She turned out very large. This is a pattern that I have done before. It's by Green Frog Crochet. I do alter it every single time that I make it. And every time that I make it, because I alter it and I don't write down what I do to modify it, it comes out different. Every mermaid that I made has been a different size, a different length torso, a different length fin, a different hairstyle. Oh, I did do a bobble stitch for her nose, which I thought was kind of fun. I've never done that on a doll before. I do think that that is pretty cute, but let me know what you think of her. Do you think she's cute? And stay tuned for why I don't think that she is. Okay, oh, speaking of cute, I'm very excited to show you guys this. I still have 4 more very big things to show you, or 3 very big things, 1 small thing. So speaking of cute, this next thing that I made, I had high hopes. I had grand plans to make more of these. So let me just show you what it is. So this is a little Pinkie Pie doll inspired by the pony Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. If you did not know, I used to be a brony / Pegasister. I still have my whole collection of pony collectibles out in the garage, which Celeste will inherit someday. Pinkie Pie is not my favorite pony. In fact, Pinkie Pie is probably one of my least favorite ponies. I think she's obnoxious, but sorry if you're a Pinkie Pie stan. My favorite is Applejack. But anyways, I wanted to make all of the main 6 in this style. But after I made Pinkie Pie, I was like, that's way too much work. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back and make more. I am glad that I started with Pinkie though, because I do feel like she is one of the most popular of the main 6. I feel like doing Pinkie or Rainbow Dash would have been a good choice. I feel like those are typically the 2 most popular in the fandom, or even like outside of like the official brony fandom. Like kids, their favorite pony is either Pinkie Pie or Rainbow Dash. So I'm happy that I started with her and stopped with her. The next one that I'll do, if I do another one, will be Rainbow Dash and then maybe Twilight Sparkle. I feel like those are the 3 like best choices. Well, I don't know. Fluttershy is also super popular. I feel like nobody really cares about Applejack and Rarity, which is sad because those are my 2 favorite ponies. But I don't know. Let me know if you are also into My Little Pony. Who is your favorite pony? Ryan's favorite is Big Mac and Trixie. I don't know why he loves Trixie, but he loves her. But anywho, so I did freehand this completely, and I also did write up a little pattern. Let me show you the back of her because she has a little tail. I wrote up a little pattern, not like typed up or anything. I just wrote it in my notebook so that I would know what to do when I made additional ones, so that they would all kind of look the same. Obviously, everybody's hair is going to be different because Pinkie Pie has like this crazy curly fro, and all the other ponies have different styles of bangs and all of that. So I'm going to have to freehand that as I go. I gave her some little eyebrows too, and then also blush, of course. I embroidered some white around her eyes and some eyelids, and this little collar is removable. Actually, no, it's not. I did end up tacking it down. It was originally removable, but I did tack it down. It's kind of like just like a necklace that I put around her. And then I embroidered her balloon cutie mark here on the little hip. Now, I was inspired to make these dolls by an Instagram account. I know that it's a Spanish Instagram account. I don't know if Spanish from like South America or Spanish from Spain. I can't tell the difference because I'm an uncultured swine. Ryan might know. Probably not, though, because he's also an uncultured swine. But I don't know her name. Oh, gosh, it's going to make me mad. It was like Cuddle something. But anyways, I saw the picture of her main six, kind of similar style, and she does have written patterns for them, but then I went to try to purchase her patterns, but they're all in Spanish. And so I was like, I mean, for a $7 pattern, and then also having to figure out translation and all that, I don't really want to mess with it. So I ended up just making my own. But I did want to say that like this idea was not completely originally my own. Credit goes to her. And if I can find her account again, I will link it for you in the description. But anyways, here is Miss Pinkie Pie, and I think that she's going to sell. I definitely think that she's going to sell at a convention. Ponies have been off the air for a couple of years now, and the last like pony convention was back in 2019, or like the biggest one was in 2019. But I still know that there are a lot of dormant pony fans out there like myself. In fact, Ryan and I are rewatching the series. We're still on season 1, but I'm watching that in conjunction with Stranger Things. So, you know, interesting combo. It's like when you take a shot and then you do like the lemon, it kind of like that. You take the shot of the Stranger Things, which is very spooky and dark, and then you lick the lemon and sweeten it up with the ponies, which is very like rainbow and unicorns, literally. Okay, the next thing that I have to show you along the pink theme is this little cupcake. This is a free pattern from Instagram. It's a little Jellycat style cupcake, and I'm going to take this moment to say I was right because in my what's it called? Yearly prediction video that I did a few months ago back in December, I predicted that Jellycat crochet, like Jellycat inspired crochet with the little legs, was going to be huge in 2026. And we are not even done with January and it has already like kicked off. I feel like every crochet content creator is doing Jellycat stuff. So I'm going to take this as a win that I predicted this correctly. So this was a free pattern, like I mentioned, so I figured I might as well try it, and I didn't have much to lose, you know, besides the cost of materials. But as you can see, I used Fluffy Flex on this, which I have a metric buttload of. Most of it is upstairs in my old office because there's so much that it doesn't even fit in the new office. But it's just like the perfect yarn to use for a cupcake because it looks like funfetti. Fortunately, you can't get it anymore. A lot of people don't like working with it, but I don't mind it. As long as you use a big enough hook, it's honestly not bad. It's really not. But for the candle, I opted to go for like this. This is Bernat Blanket, actually. I don't know the color, but it's like this deep teal. And I think it's really pretty. And then this is Bernat Mystical for the little flame, which is a variegated yellow, which I thought was appropriate because it, you know, give a little bit more of a realistic candle look. It is no-sew. So you crochet in the little legs here and you just color change for the baubles. Now, my baubles are not super duper clean, but I think it's okay, you know, because cherries, like on whipped cream, they kind of, I don't know, melt. Not melt, but like the red dye 40 that's very cancerous definitely gets like into the whipped cream. That's kind of what this looks like, right? So anyways, it turned out really large. Look, it can sit on my shoulder. Oh, that's cute. And one thing that I have learned about items like this, cakes, cupcakes, like my birthday cake turtle, they always sell because it is always somebody's birthday. So I'm sure that whoever purchases this will be like, it's my birthday next week, I'm gonna get it for myself. Or, oh my gosh, I've been looking for the perfect birthday present for so-and-so. And here it is, right at my booth. So there is a little cupcake. Do the Jellycats have names? I think that they do. Should we name the cupcake? Maybe Cassandra the cupcake, because we love alliteration around here. Okay, second to last thing. So this is not super exciting, but it does include a yarn that I got recently. Bernat Twist. I purchased it at Meijer's in our last shopping vlog, and I just really like the color of it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use it on, but it's going to look pretty in some sort of sea creature. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and I did just a little jellyfish. I almost said octopus. This is a jellyfish. This is also a free Instagram pattern, but honestly, like, there are so many free jellyfish patterns out there. And if you've been crocheting for a while, you can easily freehand these guys. I decided to go with a silver glitter disc in here. Nothing super crazy, but I just think that the silver, you know, it was just neutral, I guess. I could have done blue, but I feel like that would have been a lot of blue. Gave him a little smile mouth, a little V mouth in between his eyes. And then this is that same Bernat blanket color that I used for the candle. And I had just a little bit of the skein left. So I was able to use it up on these tentacles and the candle. And I was able to not have to have any scraps to deal with. So this is what he looks like. Don't you just love this Bernat Twist? Isn't that so fun? It is a little stiff, but honestly, like, when I was feeling it in store, I was like, is this going to be awful to work with? And honestly, it wasn't bad. I did use I think I used a 7mm hook or a 6.5mm. I can't remember right now. But I did use a larger hook than what I would normally use with Bernat. And similar to the Fluffy Flex, like, people complain about it because it's like really dense. Not that bad if you just size up your hook. And I used a metal hook too, which helped. Didn't really hurt my hands at all or anything. This is a quick project too, but every single jellyfish that I have ever made has sold in a market. Sometimes it takes a couple of times that it goes there, but they always do sell. So this one is super, like, gender neutral. I think that it would be really cute, like, sitting on the shelf in a nursery if you have like a underwater themed nursery. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a jellyfish. All right, let me show you the last thing. Finally, we're going to get to the last thing that I made. So this is a pattern by Snugglebeans Crochet, and it is Toothless Night Dragon, I suppose. But this specific night dragon is in like a little playful stance. So the back legs are secured up like that, and then the front legs just kind of flop around, and then he can kind of lay like that. As you can see, I did sew his head on crooked. That was on purpose. Sometimes it's not on purpose, but this one it was, because I felt like it gave him a little bit of character to be like, you know, like, he's playing. And I think of like Jovi and Paisley when they're like, you know, they're really engaged with you. They kind of do like the cockeyed thing, right? because it helps dogs listen better when they do that. So this took a very long time, and this was not an easy project, specifically because of the tail. The way that she has you do the tail is very cool, very interesting. If I remember correctly, it did involve some short rounds, but it's been a while since I made this, so I don't remember, to be honest. I can bend it up a little bit more. My tail, I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was just like the night, like I was in a mood, or if it was the fact that I was using black yarn. I don't know what was happening, but every single round I was counting my stitches, which I normally don't do, I know. Very out of character for me, but because of the shape, I wanted to make sure that I was getting my stitch count correct. Every single round, I would be one stitch off. I would have like one too many or one too less stitches. And then I would frog it out and redo it until I had the right amount. And then in the next round, it would be the same thing. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know. I just had a heck of a time doing this tail. And mine also like tilts weirdly. And I don't know why that happened. I mean, it's okay. It definitely doesn't look like abnormal because of the stance of this guy. It just looks like his tail's kind of like swooshing. But just be warned, if you're going to do this pattern, I do recommend the pattern, but just count your stitches. Count your stitches, and maybe if you maybe started with like a light fury dragon and did white instead to get like the hang of the pattern before jumping into black yarn, maybe that would help you. I was thinking that I was going to do a Toothless and a light fury, but after doing this one, I was like, no, that took way too long, man. I'm not gonna do another one. Maybe in the future, if I'm feeling it, so I can have them sitting next to each other at a market. I did use chenille brights for him, and he turned out gigantic. Well, not gigantic, but he's pretty large. And then for the eyes, I didn't bother painting eyes because I have like these holographic green discs that I just put in the back there. So it worked perfectly for him. The only issue really that I had besides the tail was the ears. So this is great because you do crochet the ears in, but the placement was tricky because of how the head is formed. You work from the top down, right? So these little back ears here, I feel like they should be next to the big ears, but because the little ears should go turned like that, there's no way to crochet them into the round because the rows are going horizontally. I hope that that makes sense. So I don't know. I feel like if I were to make this again and do it in white, I would still crochet in the big ears, but I would not crochet the little ones. And I would go back and sew these later right next to the big ears, sticking out like this way, instead of crocheting them horizontally into the round, which is what they look like. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's just all black. Also, because it's all black yarn, you can see every little bit of fluff and stuffing on this guy. Oh, it is really cool too because she gives you two options for the wings. I went with the easier option because I was just done with it. But there are two options, so you can choose which suits your fancy. And I don't know what kind of price I'm gonna put on him. He is pretty big. I feel like convention, I always price my stuff higher for conventions because like I mentioned, the booth fee I gotta pay back. So I don't know. I'm thinking at least 85 probably. Yeah, I don't know yet. I need to weigh him and see how much yarn he took because I want to say that took me 2 skeins of chenille brights. Oh, and at the time I didn't have any 35mm safety eyes. I do now. I just got an order in from AliExpress. So I used 30mm, and I feel like, again, if I were to make this, I would size up to a 35. The 30s look good. I just feel like the bigger the eyes, typically like the more cutesy it looks. And Toothless is a cutesy kind of character. Wow, you guys, my body back here is overflowing. I think we need to get another one out. So I did make one more thing, but I'm not going to show it to you until next week because it was for a pattern test and I want to wait until the creator has released it. And also stay tuned for next week when I release these little guys in the pattern. But you can right now get the Coochie Copy pattern on my website and on Etsy, along with a matching Valentine shirt to me. Get it for your Valentine. Do you guys have Valentines this year? I don't know, man. It's already like the end of January and my husband has not asked me to be his Valentine, so we might need to have a little talk. Anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on yet another very long episode of this week's Minx. And of course, endless thanks to our members in the Cosmic Couch Club. You guys keep this little galaxy spinning. Thank you all so much again. Stay warm out there. I hope that you all are safe. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.